Thank you for logging on to the PawCast for the week of Monday, February 20th through Friday, the 24th. Hello, I'm Mr. Andrews, and it's time for some Pawville news. Well, today I'm going to be working in my beehives for the first time this season. It's just warm enough to be able to go inside the hives, and part of my objective today is to be able to see how much food do they have. Are they putting away stores? I know they're bringing in lots and lots of pollen. There's lots of activity going on in both of my hives. And I want to see how the queen is laying her eggs and if she's doing a very good job of that. So we'll see how that works a little bit later on today. Right now, it's time for Pawville News, and I left my notes at school, so I'm doing most of this off the top of my head, and I've got a nice little pad of paper here that I'm going to read again as well. So starting off in math, we're going to continue to add and subtract fractions this week with unlike denominators. We're going to have a quiz on that Wednesday. In science, we're going to be talking about how do forces act between objects, how do forces affect us, and we're going to need to be fluent on Newton's first, second, and third laws of motion before Thursday's test. Yeah, we have a test in science on Thursday. We'll practice this in class. I have lots of videos that we're going to watch, and we'll practice identifying what would be an example of Newton's first law, an example of his second and his third laws of motion. In ELA, we're going to continue reading the novel Wonder. It's a great realistic fiction story. All of our students have the goal of reading 4 non-fiction, realistic fiction stories in the next 2 weeks, which means we've got 2 more weeks to go and 4 total during the time period. So as we continue to read, we're going to be talking about theme and message in realistic fiction this week. How does the protagonist and an antagonist and the supporting characters, how do they figure into the message or the theme that the author is trying to get across to the reader? We're going to practice talking about that this week and as we continue to read from Wonder. Also be thinking about that as you read your realistic nonfiction stories. In social studies, it's time to start getting really serious about our Washington, D.C. trip. And so we're going to begin by talking a little bit about an overview of the capital area, just a flyover, if you will, of things that we'll see and do. And we're going to get very specific about the Udvar-Hazy Air and Space Museum, which is near Dulles Airport, and the Arlington National Cemetery, as well as the Jefferson Memorial. Those are goals for this week. Parents, I hope that you're planning on coming to our Pawville Parent Night on Tuesday. Starts at 6:30. It'll be in our classroom. And again, I'm appealing for every student to have at least one parent represented for them this week. We're going to talk about the scope and sequence of our school year. We're going to talk about some important things that are going to be happening for this second semester, as well as start our conference sign up. And during those conferences, we're going to talk about some power goals for your student and how we can improve your student to be tip-top ready for 6th grade next August. So I look forward to seeing you there on Tuesday night at our Pawville Parent Night.
Where is Mr. Andrews? He's in the U.S. He's at a capital. Oh, which one will we learn about this week?
So where in the United States is Mr. Andrews? Well, right now, of course, I'm in my bee yard. Ta-da! Now I'm standing in front of this week's state capitol. And your first clue is that this state capitol is the only state capitol in the United States on an oil well. It's the 46th state. Its motto is labor conquers all things. You know what? It's had the most astronauts come from this state than any other state. And, well, each and every year, the most tornadoes that happen in the United States on average will happen in this particular state. Make sure that you write down the state name and the capital city, and your mom and dad need to also sign the bonus answer. Hopefully that's a signal they also watch this PawCast. Speaking of watching this PawCast, at the end of the PawCast, you'll have a chance to be able to view what happened today as I went inside these beehives behind me. We're going to look inside the blue beehive. I had two very good friends. They're expert beekeepers, and they gave a chance gave me a chance to be able to investigate it, and they shared a little bit about what they saw, and the news was good. Both of our beehives are doing very, very well. They've made it through the winter, and we're going to see what happens next.
Where is Mr. Andrews? He's in the U.S. He's at a capital. Oh, which one will we learn about this week?
Let's all have a great week together, and let's all get the big paw.
There you go.
Tore that one up too bad to check it. Don't see none there.
See none.
Okay. Well, I would say you're probably safe on your treatments for right now. Have the purple-eyed.
Yep.
That means they're far enough along to graft if you're going to raise queens, but no mites there.
Good.
You done?
No,
Move your arms when you're done, so I know you're done.
move my arms.
Okay.
Is that a pretty good
Yep.
pattern there?
Good brood pattern there. Now that blowing on them like I'm doing will spread them, but it's dangerous. Now right there's the drone. That's
There you go. Yep.
Now here's the drone. Now here's the drone. So you see, you've got drones. There's two drones right there together. You've got drones, so you could start raising queens now if you want into the queen rearing. All that looks like good white clean larvae.
Mm-hmm.
Thing looks good there.
Now, all that wax over there is kind of creamy tan. Some of that
It's
on
never
the
been
bottom.
used. It's all virgin wax.
And some of the bottom on here was like dark. Is that
And that's
bad?
no. They've used that wax. They've either laid larva or they've put honey in it.
Oh.
Virgin wax. No honey, no larva, anything ever been in it.
A couple of larvae falling out of that. That was burr.
Yeah. I got some burrcomb on the bottom.
Oh, wow.
Good thing I don't see any
Yeah, I don't see any.
mites on them.
Now one thing I don't care much for, you see how these drones are interspersed
Yeah,
all through your worker brood?
right.
I don't like seeing that. This is probably going to be your last year for this queen.
Okay.
So she's sort of playing out.
Oh, good.
Oh, no.
No, it's called
hive
hive
beetle?
beetle.
And you can smash him. Good
Yes.
job.
Everybody has a small sadistic streak in them, and you can use that on the hive beetles.
Indeed.
Now, do you want to check any of those drones?
I don't see any. After uncapped, might as well pull them out and check them.
Now, it does have a mite on
There's
it.
one.
Now, if I just dump this off,
It's
that
gonna
might
die.
Oh, the mite will die?
Yeah.
Because I was getting ready to squeeze. No.
So it's not too awful bad.
Well, good. Fall treatment must have worked a little bit.
Okay. Your queen's laying good. I'd say 80%, not 100%, but because of the drone interspersed. So she ought to be good for the spring. They're probably either going to swarm or replace her.
This year or?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, swarm or supersede this year. So If you check it weekly for the next 3-4 weeks, you're gonna find queen cells. Okay.
Is there any way I can alter that and before they swarm, split them or
Yeah.
something?
Sure can. When you find queen cells, you can pull it and 3 or 4 more frames, frame or 2 of honey and pollen, and a frame or 2 of open and cap brood, and the frame sheath on and make you a nuke.
And you got your nukes already set up over there.
That's right.
And that'll stop her from.
Well, I don't want that
Now.
to pass though.
If tighten them up, because I'm gonna tear up some honey. That honey right there wants to get torn up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work out of the
On this
space.
side too, it's just too thick to go down. Like this one. Make it fair, maybe a little bit. Okay, your mites are at a tolerable level. Pull that out. Your brood is at a tolerable production. Your stores are sufficient. What else you want to look for?
Well, the queen cells is what I was most. I was wondering if we had any of those going right now.
No, not right yet.
Will they not happen in this?
They happened in the bottom of this one more than likely.
Okay, can we look at that and see?
Well, we did. We looked at 4 of them.
Okay, and even in the deep we did?
No. They're usually at the bottom of the frame, but
Okay.
not in the bottom box.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
I see.
So
So-
you can start putting her back together.
So as soon as you see those queen cells, that's when it's time to